you'll keep it. You gotta keep letting it run until it's clear, am I?
Oh, yeah.
The water, folks, is coming out of the well, and it's starting to look fairly clear there, isn't it? It's been about 20 minutes now since we started trying to pump the well dry. Mr. Garry here, folks. Water, water, water everywhere. I'm excited today to bring to you part 3 of a video series that we actually started 3 years ago, believe it or not. 3 years ago, we had this deep well, this artesian well, installed here at the Ole Church. Well, folks, over the next couple of days, we will have running water here at the Ole Church. Isn't that something? Because up until now, we have been carting water back and forth to flush our toilet, to drink, and do all kinds of stuff like that. But over the next couple of days, we're going to be able to hook up our toilet, we're going to hook up our hot water tank, we're going to hook up a garden hose. We are going to have flushable, running, and hopefully drinkable water here at the Ole Church. I'm going to take you inside and show you what I've been up to. So come on, come along with me inside the Ole Church. Just before we go inside though, folks, I've got to explain a couple of things to you. This gallon jug of bleach here, that has to go down inside the well when we are ready, and we're not ready there yet. I'm going to take off this galvanized cover. That's the well head right there. So we've got to loosen up the top of that. The well has to be completely drained. And I'm going to show you what I've been up to before we go inside. Okay, I've got my hose all set up here so we can actually drain the well, and we're going to be doing that over the next couple of days. So this is the hose that comes from the well, and I've got it fished out along the property here, and it's going to go into a ditch because, as I said, we have to drain the well completely of its water, and we've got lots and lots of water in our well. After we drain the well, we've got to put in that gallon jug of bleach, and we've got to let it sit there. We've got to let the well fill up again, and we're probably going to be draining it a second time to get out the bleach. We want to clarify the water that's in the well, and after we get that done, I'm going to show you something else now. Okay, so after we get the well drained a couple of times and we've got the water all clean and stuff, we're going to be taking a couple of samples of the water from the well. This package right here, this is from the local Newfoundland and Labrador Department of Health and Department of Environment, and they do test for artesian well water, for drinkable water, to see if there's any chemicals and bacteria and things like that in the water, so that it has to be safe for human consumption. So that's what we're doing. This one here is actually for the bacteria. So we're going to take a sample of the water, and I'll be taking that back to the Department of the Environment, which is where I got these jugs to, these little containers to, a couple of days ago. And this one tests for other things like chemicals in the water, arsenic and sulfur and other kinds of things, and iron and whatever. All kinds of stuff that could interfere with being able to drink the water. So we want to make sure that we get these tests done, and we'll be doing that over the next few days. This is our brand new hot water heater, and it's a 48 US gallon hot water tank. I think that works out to about 40 Canadian gallons. But anyway, we're going to be installing that one very, very soon, and we'll have hot water here as well. And this is what I have been up to the last day or so. I've been making sure that I've got my lines all around. I'm using PEX, 3/4 PEX, and I'm using all my PEX clamps, and I'm hooking it all up right here. I've got a couple of lines coming off of this manifold that I created. You can buy these manifolds at the various hardware stores, but I made my own. I got a couple of extra lines coming off here just in case I need them in the future. I've hooked up my garden hose. As you can see, I got it right there. I've got to pull on a couple of the PEX clamps. I'll show you that in a second. I've left that one so I can show you exactly how it's done, kind of like a DIY project. Over on this side, this hin right here, this is where the water comes in from the well. So I have yet to do that. I've got to put a 90-degree elbow on there, and that has to go down through the floor. I've got to make a hole, just like I did over here for the 3/4 PEX line. I've got to do a hole over here. That's that's 1.5 inches for the high pressure water line that has to come up through the floor and connect on right here. So I'll be doing that also today, and hopefully I'll be able to share all of that good stuff with you. This is where the hot water tank is going. It's going to go in that tray. Over there in the corner, you can see the toilet. Hopefully I'll get that hooked up today. So we'll have hot water hooked up, we'll have toilet hooked up, and we will have a garden hose hooked up as well. Please God, by the end of today, or the next couple of days for sure. Okay, I want to take a few minutes, folks, a few seconds, and hook this piece of PEX hose up right here. I got it put together, but I can open it, take it apart, just for demonstration. Let me do that. Let me take that off. That needs to stay on there. Okay, that's the piece that I got gone down into the basement. Okay, so this is a piece of PEX hose, 3/4 PEX hose. I'm going to put my clamps on. I need 2 of these, and I'm going to connect it onto there. I'll just show you how I use the machine I got there. Here's my PEX tool, and you just move a couple of things out of the way here, and clamp it on, and a lot of pressure. Okay, like that. And I usually do it a second time just to make sure that's good enough. That's good and tight right there. Now, I do believe. Put it on over here as well. Okay. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I've still got a couple of more connections to make, but I didn't want to do them yet until I was absolutely sure everything is all good. I'm gonna clamp that one on right there. Good and tight, Mr. Garry. Now, I can clamp that one on there too, and I'm going to do that now as well. Now that way, it's all secure. Okay, that one's got to be clamped in 2 places, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. It's a bit tight, and it needs to be tight too. All right, that one's on. The test will be tomorrow, I think, when we actually have the well completely drained a couple of times. We have the bleach put in, as I said earlier, and we'll make sure that we're all good. All right. So all of my connections are made there now. This one up here is still not, and I want to make sure before I do that. I'm not going to do that one today. I'll do that one tomorrow, very last minute. Okay, now that's my garden hose all hooked up there now. Okay, those are the 2 extra hoses. I don't know if you can see that. I've got 2 extra lines right here. One I'm going to use for the hot water tank to bring the cold water into the hot water tank. And then I got an extra one here in case I need to run some other lines. Okay, so my next job now is to go down underneath the Ole Church and run some PEX over to the toilet and have that all done. That is my next task. Now it's time to put the hot water tank in its forever home here in the Ole Church. So let me show you that. Okay, so this is again the electric hot water heater that we have, and I think I've already mentioned it before, but I'm going to do it again just in case I didn't. It is a 48 US gallon, 182 liter hot water tank, so it's about 40 gallons Canadian. It runs on 240 volts. Okay, so it's a fairly good heater, I do think. It's a space saver, but I'm told that Space Saver is a brand of GSW. Okay, I'm using my DeWalt utility knife to cut open the cardboard. I got to spin this guy around. So be careful with that knife there, Mr. Garry. Now, I've taken the staples out of the top, but along the side here, there's a dotted line that I must follow, and it says to use a utility knife. So I'm going to cut out that side of the box, sort of like a window, and hopefully we'll be able to get this hot water heater out of this cardboard box. Okay, now let's remove the cardboard. Move that over there to the side. All right, there's the hot water heater inside the cardboard. Now I'm going to try and wiggle it out of the cardboard tubing, cardboard box, and we'll have a look at that heater together. Okay, so I got the pan in place, and that's pretty much where the hot water heater is going to go. Now I've got to be very careful, and I got to try to lift that heater up and get it sitting in that pan. So that's what I'm going to do next. All the connections are here for hooking it up electrical wise, and the same gentleman, the same electrician that came here 3 years ago and did the major wiring for us, hooked up the service panel and all that, is the same gentleman that's coming back tomorrow, hopefully, and help Mr. Garry finish the well, pressurizing the tank and getting all the electrical done for the well, as well as the electrical for the hot water tank. So we'll get that done tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to have hot water very, very soon as well. So now I've got to try and position that hot water tank where it needs to go. That pan is not very solid, and I don't want to break the pan. Okay, I think I got him in the pan. All right, there you go. Did manage to get him in there, folks. Now I just got to make sure I got him lined up right in the pan. I think I got him positioned correctly there. Keep in mind, folks, that this is going to be a closet, so I got to keep in mind that I'm going to be having a wall right out here in front with a couple of doors, and on the back there's also going to be a wall back here. So this is all going to be enclosed, encased in. I'm able to do a lot of work right now, of course, because I don't have the walls. But once the walls goes up, I'm not going to be able to do it very much. So I got to make sure that I got everything all done correctly, to code, of course, as well. And looks like where I have him positioned is good. He's not too close to the connections on the pressure tank. I don't think. Could easily turn on and off the pressure tank. Okay, open it up and close it. Reading the gauge might be a little bit troublesome. Okay, we'll see all about that. Okay, so I just attached a 90-degree elbow there for the water intake from the well, folks, and I put on lots of clamps. I got 4 clamps on there, so I think that's pretty decent. And I'm in the process now of drilling a 1.5-inch hole down through the floor here at the Ole Church for the black high-pressure water hose that's coming from the well that need to come into this intake right here. So let me finish drilling this hole. So there's the hole down through the floor, down to the crawl space underneath this church, folks. So that high pressure black hose now has to be fed up through that. And that's a job for tomorrow after we clean out the well and after we disinfect the well water and all that kind of stuff. We should be having running water here at the Ole Church very, very soon. We do have water. Look at that. Looks fairly, he's a bit on the muddy side, but that could be coming. Yeah. But now that could be from the sewer pipe that I'm using there, but I don't think so. Yeah, it's a bit on the dirty side. We'll keep it. You gotta keep letting it run until it's clear, am I?
Oh yeah, yes sir.
Yeah, and then they go on out that sewer pipe now. And then they go on down that ditch and then they go on out in the ocean. Yeah, I'm checking the water. I'm checking the water, folks. It's coming out of the well, and it's starting to look fairly clear there, isn't it? It's been about 20 minutes now since we started trying to pump the well dry, because we are going to put some disinfectant into the well very, very soon. We have a full gallon of bleach that we're going to throw that into the bottom of the well once the well goes nearly dry, and we're going to let the well fill up again and then pump her out another time. But it is, as I said, starting to look fairly clear there now. I hope we have good water, folks. I really do. This is the final step now. Hook on that water line. I could hear the tank filling up. So when that cuts out now, I'll give her a try. I'll clean all that up now very shortly and dry it all up, and then I'll watch for any little leaks. Hey, one that takes less water, that toilet. Should soon be. The toilet is filling up there. Like I said, it is a dual flush. One of those buttons you can press just for a small flush. I'm going to give it a try because I'm a little bit anxious here. All right, so let's try it. Let's see if it flushes very well. Oh yes, sirree! Look at that. It flushes perfectly. This is the connection for the garden hose that I installed a couple of days ago as well. So I'm going to try this one now. It looks like it's great for the toilet. We've got lots of running water coming out of the toilet. So let's try the garden hose. Okay. There's lots of water coming out there. Look at that. Look at that. Lots of pressure. And it looks fairly clean, folks. So we have running water here at the Old Church. Isn't that awesome? Turn it off, Mr. Garry. Let's not waste any precious water. There you go. Awesome, folks. You have running water now here at the Old Church, 5 Acre Homestead.